2, a weekly podcast about people who work together as a couple. Learn the secrets of business partnerships, the benefits and pitfalls of working together. Be it husband and wife, father and son, mother and daughter, friends, relatives, or any other combinations of business partnerships. We are your hosts, Tracy, Andy and Earl, founders of In Business, a networking and business support community. And together,
we are In Business. Today, in episode 19, we are talking to Connor and Jack of Assured Marketing. They're a digital marketing agency based in Kingston upon Hull. These two friends started Assured Marketing in January of this year after considering it for a long time. So listen as we find out how they started their business journey.
As well as speaking with other couples, we'll let you know of any useful business apps and websites out there that our members have come across and shared with us in our regular weekly online meetings. Plus, we'll tell you about our special bonus episode coming up this Friday, our Friday Fix. So be sure to listen all the way through to the end to find out more. So, without further ado, let's crack on with In Business Talks 2.
So welcome to In Business Talks 2, and today we have with us Jack and Connor of Assured Marketing, a digital marketing agency. So welcome, guys.
Hi, great to be here.
Welcome, guys. Thanks for coming along today.
Thank you very much.
Okay, so let's start by first of all finding out, guys, can you tell us a little bit about what you do? Tell us about Assured Marketing.
Yeah, Assured Marketing, it's a full service digital marketing agency that we set up, but we focus on in three main areas, which is SEO, search engine optimization. So that's adapting websites, adapting the content on websites and speed and the usability to try and help them rank higher on Google, get them more customers through the website. We focus on social media, trying to sort of build a brand that people could connect with and engage with. And we focus on web design and web development. So from the ground up, getting someone a website that they can get out there and that they can help generate custom from, essentially.
Right, so quite a broad range of services really.
Offer, yeah.
Great.
Yeah, good, excellent.
That's great. So I suppose, I think one thing we want to know is how long have you been in business together?
Oh, almost 6 months trading. It was a few months in the making beforehand, but started trading 29th of January this year.
Wow.
We are the craziest people ever because we decided to start business in the middle of a pandemic.
Yeah, yeah.
So yeah, we're definitely out there as risk-taking goes, I'd say.
Yeah. I don't think we've spoke to anybody who's quite that new. We knew some of the people who started their business just before lockdown, sort of March, April time last year.
A few businesses have sprung up last year, even though it's been the pandemic. I think quite a few have sprung up, haven't they? It's been surprising, yeah. So whose idea was it then to get into business together? What caused the spark? What was it?
Both of us really wanted.
Yeah, we've been talking about setting up business together for an unbelievably long amount of time, for a whole range of different things.
Yeah,
and the stars just kind of aligned, I suppose you could say.
Yeah. I think it was always, we were quite focused on our careers as individuals. So when we were both in jobs, we'd be saying, we want to do this, we want to do that. But then we were just thinking, once you got to being by yourself, you're thinking, I've got to do this for work, I've got to do that for work. And you forget about it.
Yeah.
So
did you know each other beforehand? I mean, were you friends beforehand or were you just colleagues? How?
Friends. We've been going, nearly 10 years now we've been friends, I think.
Yeah, friends first, then colleagues for a bit, then friends again.
Yeah.
What, you fell out while you were colleagues, did you?
Well, I had to sack him. I was his boss and I had to sack him. It wasn't a fun experience.
Really?
I got him a job and then had to let him go.
Oh.
So what were you, when you decided to eventually do it, what were your thoughts then? Was it, oh God, this is a bit scary? What were your feelings behind it? Was it a couple of sleepless nights or more than a sleepless night?
Were you just excited?
Were you just good to go? What was it?
I think a bit of all of that. I think there was a bit of, we've never done this before. We're going out by ourselves here. There was a lot of excitement. And I think the thought was kind of just, for God's sake, we've been saying this for years. Let's just do it. Let's just...
I was going to say, for me, I think it was quite a bit of like, finally.
Yeah.
Oh, good. And I'm sure it's a decision you won't regret, because most people we speak to in business, they just say, it's the best thing I ever did. I don't know why I ever stayed in corporate or stayed working for somebody for so long.
And often if you're not careful, you can work for a long time for businesses, corporate businesses, and think, why didn't I do this 20, 30 years ago? So you guys are young, so you've done it at the right time, I think, which is good.
Yeah, I do definitely think our age helps us there. We've got a long time to grow and work. And we complement each other quite well, I think, within the business side of things.
Yeah, yin and yang. Everyone keeps saying that. We've been at loads of face-to-face networking now. It's reopened, and everyone keeps calling us yin and yang. So it must be something that works.
Yeah. Have you got different skill sets then? Is that how it works?
Yeah, very much so. I mean, in terms of the marketing, I've done in-house stuff for companies I've worked for, but not on the level that Jack has for the other agencies he's worked for. Whereas I've done a lot more sort of ops roles and kind of jack of all trades roles for some smaller companies. So it's been quite good to sort of complement each other in that way. Yeah.
So guys, do you have then different roles within the business? Do you divide the roles? What roles do you have, and what do you do as individuals?
Yeah, definitely. I do a lot more of the front-facing things because that's what I've got the experience in. So client acquisition, kind of putting the name out there. I look after assured marketing, and sort of Jack looks after the clients is the best way to sort of look at it. It's the way it works. I mean, you can tell them about what you do.
Yeah. Well, I deal with 90% of the client-facing things. So from SEO to building the website to paid ads on Google, that's all my remit. Connor sometimes supports me. Over the years while you've been doing internal stuff, we've bounced off each other and me helping him with that kind of stuff anyway. So he's got the knowledge there for a large majority of it, especially PPC. So a lot of it he can run with himself, but the majority of the time we find, because I've got the more experience, I run that side of things. He's got experience running a business or working that side of the business. So that's what he does.
And what's the vision for Assured Marketing then, guys? What are you aiming to do? Are you want to go huge organisation, 50 employees, or is it more of a lifestyle business? Are you going to get to a certain point and think we're happy with this? What's your plans?
We're definitely wanting to grow. Shameless promotion of the city, obviously being based in Hull. It's slowly becoming a bit more of a digital centre that the likes of Leeds and York have been for Yorkshire. We've got things like the Centre for Digital Innovation and then the High Street now, the Old Commercial District, which is where we've based ourselves. That has sort of littered digital marketing agencies up and down it. So we definitely want to grow. There's a big feeling for this being a good industry for the city. And there's people around us that we can sort of grow to be their size as well. So that's kind of the aim. Become an established local name, I think.
Yeah. Oh, sounds good. And obviously, you have a shared vision on that. I mean, do you have different goals? I mean, do you have a different goal? Are you on the same page with every goal, or do you have different?
I think at this point where our goals are pretty much merged. At the beginning, there was a few little, someone would have more goals one area, but between talking to each other, we've kind of laid out a plan on how we're going to hit the goals we want at this point.
I think that's the secret, isn't it? Keep talking and keep sharing your ideas and your thoughts, and I think you'll do really well.
So how did you decide? You were spoken about roles there. So how did you decide the roles? Did you base it on, was it the experience that each individual had?
Yeah. It really just slotted together well. I think we'd have been idiots to try and do it a different way. It's quite obvious. You look at the experience Jack's got in running a lot of these services, running a lot of these campaigns. You look at the experience I've got in sort of running a business and doing all the more boring side of things, to be quite honest. And it just wouldn't have made sense for us to try and do each other's jobs because the results wouldn't have been as good. So yeah, it just ironed itself out perfectly, really.
And what's the best thing about working together, guys? Or if there is a best thing, maybe you hate each other. I don't know. But what's the best?
not looking to Friday every week for me. Definitely, I can come in on Monday and I enjoy it.
Yeah.
It definitely used to be, is it Friday yet? Is it the weekend yet? Can I go home yet? Is it home time yet? I've enjoyed working for most of the people I've worked for. But certainly when it's not your business, it's not your thing, you're not running it, you definitely just kind of want to go home now. I want to just go and be me. Whereas now, we can't switch off.
No, yeah, it's weird, isn't it?
We tried to go to the pub last night and just sort of, we'll go to the pub and just have a couple of drinks as friends like we used to, and just sat there and talked about work stuff.
I was going to ask you if you socialised out of work or whether you just kept work separate.
Yeah, no, it definitely doesn't happen. I don't think that's a bad thing, though. I think we're quite happy with that. We're both avid workaholics, so
yeah,
I think there's 25 hours of the day. We'd go for 26. So,
and I suppose it's good because you're excited about the business. You want it to work, don't you? Even now, we're the same. You try and switch off. You try and think, like, obviously we're married and we live together. We think Friday night, is that it? Shall we stop what we're doing now? But usually we end up talking about business, something that's happened or something we need to do. We think, hang on a minute, I thought we were going to do something else tonight. So it's difficult, guys. We know what it's like.
Yeah,
exactly that. And like we said before, we've been talking about this kind of thing for so long. So previously, when we've left, jobs on a Friday, we've then been talking to each other about what we can do for if we did set up a business, or thinking about stuff on our own. So having that together now is just like that time is used more like directly, which is good.
What do you think your individual strengths are? What do you bring to the business as individuals?
Oh, I'll let you go first. I'll trick you in.
I mean, for me, I think it's very basic. I bring the services we provide. I've been in roles, all my roles previously have been this kind of job, facing clients, communicating with clients, and doing the work for the clients and setting that up all myself, and running with it. So that has just transferred over like seamlessly almost. It's very similar to the same job with a little bit of running the business side as well.
And then, me, it's mainly sort of sales, networking, and understanding what we can and can't do, planning and strategy, essentially.
Telling me off.
Yeah, and telling Jack off. A lot of management sort of. I've been lucky that I had a management role from about 19. So I've got, despite being young, quite a bit of management experience. So in that side of things, keeping everything on track and looking at how we can move the business forward is sort of what I bring to the table.
The best thing about work and being in business together, what's the best thing?
Being able to bounce off each other really well. We've always had that anyway. So I think we're very jokey normally. So that helps. You get you through your week. Like you said, it doesn't feel like a job because a lot of the time when we're working, we're joking about and having pops. It's like hanging around with your friends, because obviously we are, whilst you're at work. So that's definitely a benefit. Yeah,
having that ability to just sort of bounce ideas around the room, and I think having a relationship in a way that isn't like two people that have never met before. Neither of us are scared to tell the other one straight sometimes. Which is great. The last thing you want is someone who sort of dithers around whether we should or shouldn't do something. If it's a good idea, we'll say it's a good idea. If it's not, we'll point blank tell the other one that no, you're not on the right track. So you go back, come again. Not happening.
Yeah, there's no biting of tongues or holding your breath. You just, if there's something to be said, it's said. Which I think is definitely
you don't disagree very
forward.
often.
Yeah, it's helped us progress at the rate we have. To sort of get where we have in 5 months.
And how do you resolve the disagreements then? What do you do?
Oh no, we disagree a hell of a lot. Well, we'll box it out. No, we I think it's very much, we don't just say you're wrong. We tell each other why we're wrong. If there's a disagreement, it's not just you're wrong. It's you're wrong, here's why, here's how we fix it. And we're quite able to just sort of be pragmatic in any criticism, any dispute. It's not about having a pop, it's about working out how we make what's been said work, essentially.
You talk it through, basically.
It's more of a skill than a yes or no. It's a conversation on the middle ground. Finding the point, what we should be going for. Like, well, if we're disagreeing, why are we disagreeing? And what is the way past that?
If you like what you hear so far, make sure you never miss a show by clicking subscribe or follow. This podcast is made possible because of listeners like you. So thank you. We really appreciate your support. Now back to the show.
I know you said you've been friends for about 10 years or so. Has the friendship changed now you work together? Is it different? Has it strengthened the friendship? Is there anything, has it changed in any way? What's the difference now between just friends and friends who work together? You know what I mean?
Yeah, I think we see each other a lot more.
Yeah.
For better or for worse.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't think it's changed too much.
I think it's a difficult question for us because obviously during lockdown and everything, there's that, which is when we started. There's not so much that you can do as friends anywhere. In terms of you can't go out, you couldn't go out drinking for so long. You couldn't go play football or do any kind of hobbies or activities together. So I think just in terms of the pandemic anyway has changed that. So it's hard to tell what's changed within a friendship group because of the business. So it's all just felt very natural, but maybe in the next coming months it'll be more important.
Yeah.
Since you've been working together, what is each other's most annoying habit at work? And I'll ask Connor first, and then Jack, you get to answer this question. So, Connor, what is Jack's most annoying habit at work?
Oh, it's been the same since
we don't want to start any arguments.
No, we don't want to fall out, obviously.
No, it's definitely organisation and structure. I'm sure if any of Jack's former bosses are listening, not just me, they will
be bosses.
they will all understand that keeping on top of Jack and making sure things are done is priority. As long as you do that, and as long as you make sure everything's kept on task, because he does brilliant work. So it's so frustrating when stuff gets missed. So that's the only real annoying trait. But you've got a lot better than when you used to work with us.
Yeah, it's something I've had to force myself over the years. But I'm very skittish, so I'll bounce between jobs. So it's definitely following a structure. I think another one of my habits that really annoys Connor is I always leave a little bit of my tea left.
Oh, yeah, that annoys me actually.
Yeah.
And
you'd never drink it to the end of the amount of times.
Yeah, I think that.
Yeah, that gets
me.
to me. Yeah, how strange. Yeah.
Yeah, I keep threatening to pour it all back into it.
Yeah, just throw it all in one mug and warm it up.
So
lucky point at the end of the week.
Yeah, drip tray with a tea.
Yeah.
So Jack, same question to you then. What's Connor's most annoying habit? Then we've covered yours.
I think stress.
Yep.
He's got a very thin trigger for stress. So, once it gets a little bit above, he's like a headless chicken.
Oh.
How he's comfortable, and then he's relaxed again. But for 10-20 minutes or so, he'll be blowing his lid.
Yeah.
Do you help him with that, or do you just ignore him?
I usually poke it, to be honest.
You stir it, make it worse. Yeah.
Yeah, we've been friends for that long.
You can't help yourself.
You can do, can't you then?
Yeah. So, as an aside, you mentioned stress. What do you guys to do to get rid of stress? I mean, apart from trying to increase it in each other, what do you do to get rid of the stress?
Wait till it goes away.
Yeah.
I think just get through it. There's normally something causing it for either of us. I just, it's much more visible with me. I won't deny that at all. I think it's just, it's whatever's causing it. If it's, if work's piled up or if a minor mishap has occurred, which that one isn't too often, but something like that would cause the stress, it's quickly resolving it, and then you can just calm down. You just feel it's done, it's sorted. Yeah.
You don't sort of carry that stress over to the next project or the next.
Yeah, we've never really had anything big in terms of it. So it's usually something little, so it's easily solvable, easy to get past or to plan the path from that point.
I know you've only been doing it 6 months, guys, and you've been talking about it for a long time. But if you're to do it all again, would you do it again? Would you go back and say, yeah, we'll do it again? With no regrets?
Yeah, the big things we'd change,
Mm-hmm.
most definitely, but you learn that anyway, and it's first business for us.
Yeah.
You learn so much.
Yeah, you're going to go down some wrong alleys, open some wrong doors.
And we're going to continue to do that, and in 10 years we'd say the same, we'd do it again, but we'd change this and that.
Yeah.
But yeah, absolutely. Best decision I've made professionally.
Yeah.
And
I think any business you go in blind, don't you?
Yeah.
And I don't think we've got any regrets. But in future it would be, well, I know that door's a red flag.
Yeah.
Yeah. And if you could change one thing, what would it be? The big thing that you would change?
I think one of the networking choices we made, it'd be known to be really, really well in the area. And I think largely due to the pandemic, it didn't turn out to our hopes.
Yeah.
So it ended up being a lot of wasted time and money.
Yeah.
And also it meant we were working from separate areas, which meant it was harder to bounce off each other and to focus that path for a little while. So I think that was a whole thing, was one of the big things that
we definitely
kind of it spread out as thin as a business. So we had to then call that back in and bring it all back and get back to almost as if square one.
Yeah. Cause I think we've done that in the past, haven't we? We've wasted money on certain things, and you just think,
why
you look
did we
back
do
and think,
that?
why did we do that? But I think you do when you first
it's part
starting
of learning
out
by experience. You have to learn these things. You don't know until you do it. That's a problem.
No, you think it's a good idea at the time, and it's not till you've done it and look back and think, God, why did we do that?
Yeah.
So,
some things work for some people, not for others.
Yeah. And you don't always know till you've tried it.
You have to try, otherwise it's a missed opportunity, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
I think what helped with that, with me being such an avid stress head, as Jack's kindly pointed out, was obviously when we took decisions like that, it was always budgeted in. I wouldn't take any decision like that without knowing that if it failed, we were fine financially, especially in the early days. So we look back, but it's good to have learned what we should and shouldn't have done, and it's good that we had that foresight to go, well, even if this doesn't work, it's not going to cripple us.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
And it definitely helped us see for future at the points where some the telltale signs of whether or not something is going to be successful or not for us.
Gave us a better radar for spotting good and bad opportunities.
Definitely,
And if you could give somebody, say friends who are thinking of going into business together, some advice, what do you think you would say to them?
Just do it. Just take the lead.
Take the lead.
There will be bumps, there will be bruises, there'll be scrapes, and there'll be arguments. But just do it. You'll find that it's a lot more enjoyable, and the good things are a lot more rewarding than the bad things that will come from it.
Yeah.
And as long as you're both committed and you've both got the desire to make it work, it'll work.
Yeah, and I think although it wasn't something we had to struggle with, I think it's something that's really helped us is knowing our strengths going into it, knowing what role within the business each person's going to take before they take the leap. I think massively helped us be able to hit the ground running. There's so much within a business, especially myself, that I wouldn't know, this from that, which Connor was able to help with. And although I can do the services side and what we're delivering, that would have taken me aback. So having that, I think, really helped us hit the ground running.
Mm-hmm. Who keeps their eye on the finances, or is that a joint decision?
Well, it's me mainly, but I don't make any decisions financially without talking it through with Jack. I'm not just going to turn up and go, I've just spent $3,000 on this.
I've just bought myself a new car.
I've just paid for an all-inclusive holiday.
You said I keep stressing too much, so what I've done to help get rid of that.
So it's primarily me that sort of deals with all of that, but everything gets talked through. And the same with Jack, he'll have a great idea, especially with the marketing side of things. We've got to treat ourselves as a client. We've got to do our own marketing. So he'll come to me and say, we need to be doing this because we do that for a client. and I'll just be like straight away, yep, sounds like a good idea. How much does it cost? Let's do it.
And what's the biggest high you've had so far since you've
Have you
worked? What's been your biggest success, your biggest high? What do you think? Wow, that went great. We've done really well there. What's been the best?
You got a big contract from somebody, or?
Yeah, I think our biggest high, biggest high was probably our first monthly client.
Yeah, our first retained client. We picked up straight away. You pick up one-off projects like web designs, graphic design, or something like that. That everyone needs them, but trying to convince people that they need things like SEO when they've never heard of SEO can be tricky. Everyone does need it, no matter what they do, but sort of getting them to a point where they can understand that they need it takes a lot of work. So it was definitely a good celebration and very rewarding when we managed to get someone over the line for that.
Lots of people think they just need a website, and if the website's there, it's going to do its thing. So that's definitely a hard point for SEO. And then I think our biggest thing that we're most proud of, we got a big local client recently. One of the main reasons we set out the business the way we did and when we did was to push locally. I was working for big agencies, seeing little businesses and local businesses struggling during the pandemic, where people who had the resources could capitalize on that. And I think between us, we were kind of like, well, we want to be doing something there.
Yeah.
So getting, areas locally that we can see positive impacts from our changes is really something that I'm very happy with, and I think he is as well.
Yeah, it was one of the it was one of the first things that we sort of noticed when we were deciding we were going down the marketing agency route, because we tried a lot of different ones or thought about a lot of different ones. When we went down the marketing agency route, we saw that gap in the market of, well, if a company's earning sort of $1 million to $2 million a year, they can pay for a full service agency to do all their marketing or to focus on one area of their marketing. But if the local corner shop wants some help with one of these areas, they're priced out. They don't have that kind of budget. And especially during the pandemic, Tesco's made a killing, whereas your local corner shop didn't. And we kind of wanted to go, well, let's work out a way where we can provide that and we don't have to price people out. And it's required changing the way you do your job a bit, because you don't have access to a lot of the huge softwares that you will have done at the big agencies. But we can effectively still deliver the same quality of work and not have to charge a huge amount of money for it.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, our whole thing was agencies should be more affordable than someone hiring an expert in-house. And that wasn't something really we were seeing, and we were thinking, well, why would people go to an agency when they could have someone with, hire someone who's worked at an agency, so they've got the same amount of knowledge in-house working properly, where they can monitor it, they can push them in areas, they can have a proper conversation with them. So we saw that as it should be affordable for them. It should be something that's better value for money than bringing in someone, because a lot of businesses can't bring someone in for solely marketing. You can't. So it falls on themselves, and it's a lot of hit and miss. Throwing things and finding out what works.
So who would you say your target audience are? Are they smaller businesses, or are you looking to get some bigger businesses on board?
Definitely SMEs. We sort of identified quite quickly sort of sub-9 employee category businesses, lower turnover. Well, if they want to scale and grow, they really need an effective marketing strategy in whichever area it is that we sort of provide. So it's kind of that is our audience. That's our ideal client, is someone looking to scale their business. So our audience kind of is the UK SME. We're not going to say no to enterprise clients. We've worked with enterprise clients and we can carry out that level of work. But we're really in it to kind of deal with the sub-9 employee category businesses. Your local businesses, really.
Yeah. I think the most rewarding part of our business is seeing the effect it has on people. Yeah. So if it's a small business, if you're getting them more sales or providing them with really great materials, they see it, they talk to you, you can feel the happiness in them. When you're working with enterprises, which again, we've had, and we're not saying no to them, but it tends to be you're talking to someone who's 3 lines down from the top. They're just managing that budget. They don't see any direct response from it. And it gets, their boss's boss a nice new holiday. So being able to see that positive impact you make on someone is definitely why we focus on the SMEs and being able to provide them with services that they need and maybe don't feel they have access to.
You're nailing it, really. It sounds like you're aiming at I think you're aiming at probably the right market. I think it sounds good. You're going for the smaller businesses, which is, like you say, it can be expensive come marketing and things, can't it? And the sort of work that these agencies charge, it's an arm and a leg, isn't it? So it's good that there are people like you guys out there sort of saying, "Hang on, we'll disrupt this market a bit. We can help these people who are a bit low down the pecking order."
Yeah, that was the whole thing.
Must be so rewarding.
Yeah.
It must give you such a buzz that it makes you want to do more, doesn't it?
It absolutely does.
Yeah.
We've a client that sends us emails every time she gets a conversion through our site, which has gone up and up and up. So we're having to clear the inbox.
That's brilliant. That's brilliant.
But it's great. That's a personal touch that you don't get from working with bigger businesses.
Thanks for that, guys. It's been really interesting. Good to chat with you. But before we disappear, can you just tell us if people want to get in touch with you, what is the best way of doing it? If you could give us some details. Obviously, we'll put it in the show notes as well. But we'd just like to hear from you guys. What's the best way of getting in touch with you?
Yes, the website's assuredmarketing.co.uk, and then it's the same across LinkedIn, Facebook, and Twitter. I think it's @MarketAssured on Twitter, but if you search Assured Marketing.
Right. And are you both on LinkedIn as individuals as well?
Yeah.
Okay.
Jack Story and
Connor Hewson.
Yeah, I think you sent me all those, didn't you?
Yeah, have you
the
got,
other
have you got
day.
those
So
out? I'll stick them in the show notes then, so everyone can contact you and
contact you. So it's great. It's been lovely talking to you guys, and thank you very much for your episode.
Yeah, thank you for being on with us today. We enjoyed the chat. Yeah, and good luck for the future. A new flourishing business is always good to see.
Thank you for having us as well.
Yeah.
No.
Yep,
likewise.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, we'll have to catch up within a couple of years and see how it's going.
Yeah, we'll do it again in a couple of years' time. We'll do another one when you're big and famous and massive. Yeah.
Okay, take care, guys. Bye.
Bye.
Thanks so much. Bye now.
See you later.
And now we come to our knowledge share for this week. So what is our knowledge share for this week, Tracy?
This week we've got one called borrowbox.com, and basically with BorrowBox your library is in one app. You can borrow ebooks and e-audiobooks free from your library using the BorrowBox app.
Wow, sounds like a great share there. So get in touch and let us know if you try it and what you think. We are almost at the end of this week's show, but before we go, we are excited to tell you about our bonus episode this Friday on the Friday Fix, where we will be discussing a business-related subject with a fellow business owner who will be sharing their advice, thoughts or knowledge on a particular topic.
This Friday's episode is with Laura Norman of Chroma Marketing, and we are discussing building your brand story. We're really looking forward to hearing from Laura. Also, if you'd like to join us at one of our online networking meetings, the link will be in the show notes.
Thanks so much for joining us this week on In Business Talks 2. We hope you've enjoyed it, and if you have, all we ask is that you simply tell a friend about the show. We'd really appreciate it.
Until next time, this is Ian and Tracy, and together we are In Business. Goodbye.
Goodbye.